Hey horse. Hello, it's me. Hi guys, it's Tom, welcome to my channel and welcome to this video. Just gotta put it out there, this video is gonna be a whole fucking journey. So if you are under the age of, one that can handle a fat rant, then, maybe you'll wanna click off. Otherwise, grab a coffee, a tea, a Red Bull, and let's get into all my problems with the government because I have so many. I just realized how much McDonald's vibes this little color combo is giving off, but let's just get past that because I definitely have a lot to say. Tap that big red subscribe button to, join the family, help me get to 1K. That's really where I've been working up towards for a few years now, and it would make my week, make my month, make my year. And while you're at it, make sure to go and check out my other social medias down below. They're just Hylo, it's me. TikTok, Instagram, the whole 9 yards. Okay, perfect. That's enough branding for me, and now I can start ranting. Hold on. Bitch, did you hear what the fuck I said? Shake some. Okay, so let's roll back. About a week ago or so, I posted a TikTok called Questions for the Irish Government. A lot of you seem to relate to it because the video got like 130,000 viewers and counting, and then the second part has like 160,000. But I was like, maybe this is my calling. Maybe, I was born to complain a lot, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, basically in this video I'm gonna be telling you guys all about my thought process behind going back to school, how I feel about it, what I think the government are doing right and what I think they're doing wrong. I'm also going to be touching off of your opinions because I did go over to my Instagram and I put up a few different polls all about how you guys feel about going back to school and things like that. So if you aren't already, like I said, make sure you're following on Instagram because you will get some behind the scenes and some sneak peeks of videos. Now, I did get hundreds and hundreds of responses, so I'm going to read as many as I can without making this video like 30 minutes long. Obviously, the first thing that's problematic with going back to school is the fact that we are in the middle of a global pandemic.
Global pandemic.
Every day in Ireland, we're still getting between 100 and 200 cases, which isn't exactly ideal considering when we closed, there wasn't even that much. And now that we have more cases, we're like, oh yeah, let's just, go back to school. Let's just throw them back in. Not me. Wrong, bitch. I don't have any health problems per se, but I don't exactly want to get coronavirus. I don't want to bring that home to my family. I don't want to bring that to my grandparents. But I'm also well aware that there are thousands among us who have very serious health problems. Asthma, cystic fibrosis, different things like that, that are very much going to be on the chopping block, as morbid as that sounds, if we don't take this really seriously. So if you by any chance are a member of the government or a TD or something like that and you feel like you could answer some of my questions, please feel free to let me know down below because I am very much open to conversation. And if you're just a student like me and you also have some thoughts, let's have a conversation in the comments because I certainly am trying to wrap my head around this decision. Now, I'm not saying that online learning was perfect. Obviously, it was very self-motivated, and if you're not that type of person, you need more structure. I completely get that. But you can't say that your preferences of learning in person are more important than the health and safety of our entire population, if not the world. I did make this point on my TikTok, and a lot of people were saying, oh, well, what about those who don't have computers or don't have the facilities? My answer to that is that, first off, I completely understand. I didn't have a computer. I had to get a free computer from my school that my school sourced from the government, from a government grant. My school is a public school. I'm not a private school. It's not like I'm spoiled with all this technology and stuff like that, but there definitely are ways and means about doing this. There are hurdles and everything like that, like with anything, but nothing compared to the amount that we're gonna have to do to go back to school and make it done safe and make sure that we don't spread coronavirus, which currently it's Friday the 4th of September and there are already schools shutting down. So make that make sense. There obviously is, of course, another argument where, okay, there are children at home who are in unsafe environments or who really do need to get that social interaction, or maybe there are people who have special learning disabilities and things like that who definitely need to be in a school environment because nothing else works for them. And I understand that, but I do think that there are ways of doing that without bringing everyone unnecessarily back into a physical school setting where coronavirus is inevitably going to spread. Another thing that definitely affects me anyway, and that I've noticed this morning because today was my induction day into my school, is that it's going to be fucking hard, if not near impossible, for everyone to get into school on time and with ease. There are other people out there, like people who would rely on a school coach, and some school coaches are pulling out of working. There are other people who would have, like me now, had to get, say, 3 or 4 buses into school, or trains, or whatever it is, and once again, they're going to be affected. We're going to have to find a way of getting into school with all these new regulations and things like that without congregating at bus stops, without being late to school, because buses are definitely going to pass us by if they're full, and by full I mean at a third of their capacity, which is fair enough. They can't take on the same amount as they could have previously because it's just not safe. I definitely think that if the government are making this decision, that they need to roll out more buses, and I know it's not that easy. I know that we don't necessarily have bus drivers on call, and we don't have unlimited amount of physical buses to produce, but we need to step it up, because if we're sending everybody back, what do we expect them to do? Walk? Cycle? Yeah, definitely. Only that now we don't have lockers in a lot of schools, including mine, so we had to bring in pretty much all of our books while cycling. Sounds so safe to me. Okay, so apart from buses, lockers, things like that, I have another thing that I need to get off my chest. My school is one of the schools, and I'm pretty sure the majority of schools are like mine, where we still have PE, a physical contact class where we have to run around. We can't just sit in a one designated spot, social distance from everybody else. Oh, but you might think, okay, it's fine if we're not, social distancing because we're going to wear masks. No, the majority of schools aren't allowing their students to wear masks while doing PE because, once again, safety first. I've gotten a lot of DMs from people who have, say, seen my TikToks or who know me in person, coming to me being like, hey, I do not feel safe doing PE. We're not allowed to wear masks. It makes no sense. There isn't enough social distancing. But there's obviously nothing I can do but speak up, speak for those who might not feel comfortable doing or might not have any platform to do so. And even though I only have a small platform, I do think that it's important that we have a say in how our lives are being run. If I get coronavirus, it's not just going to affect, my education, or I'm not just going to be sick for a few weeks. It's going to affect me and all of the people around me, and also my class, my year group. It's not simple, and I know that nobody thinks that it is. I know that the government are trying, but I just think that they need to try hard enough, because putting us out into the firing line when we could just invest a lot more time and effort and training and money into online alternatives, it just doesn't sit right with me. I'm also confused as to how lunches are going to work. In my school, which I'm not going to name, obviously, for legal reasons, my school are in a system where there's 24 people in a class. We're all 1 meter apart from each other, but we're wearing masks, okay? So I'm like, okay, you know what? We're only 1 meter apart, but we are wearing masks, so it's still in line with the regulations. But they're also saying that for lunches, we have to take off our masks to eat, clearly, but we're still sitting in the exact same classroom, the exact same distance away from people. And so we're all just going to take off our masks for 40 minutes while we're literally eating and consuming food and drinking and all of that, all while other people are, breathing, possibly coughing around us. Okay, yeah, perfect. Sounds good to me. You can wear masks all you want, but if you're going to sit next to somebody for 40 minutes with no mask on while you're eating, then what's the point of wearing a mask in the first place? Now, I know that this is very much tailored towards my school, so if your school is dealing with this in a better way, maybe you're social distancing, you're outside, you are in a huge space where you can keep an accurate distance away from each other, do let me know. I'm not saying that just because my school is like that the whole country is like that, but I do know that a lot of people are in the same boat as me. So one of the main things that the government were pushing as to how safe school was going to be was that the teachers were going to go around to the students and the students wouldn't have to change class. Every single 5th and 6th year in the country are all doing different subjects. We're all at different levels of each subject. We all have our options. We all have different languages, different science subjects, whatever. Now for first years, second years, or juniors, or whatever it is, that is possible because a lot of the time we are in the exact same classes. Really miss the mark on that one, because how are you going to be like, oh yeah, the first years they're protected because they don't have to move class, but 5th and 6th years, even though you're like bigger, you're older, you're probably more prone to getting the virus than the younger ones, you're still going to have to change classes because we can't do anything else. Now, I don't have a percentage or a figure for this next point, but I'm pretty sure that the majority of schools in Ireland all wear uniforms. There are exceptions to the rule. There are certain schools who don't have a uniform, and that's great, but the majority of us do. And so if you do wear a uniform, then listen up, because this is quite important. So as far as people have researched, coronavirus can last over 24 hours on clothing. This means that if you're wearing a uniform, and most of us don't have duplicates of our uniform jumpers, we might have extra shirts, we might have extra trousers or skirts or whatever, but the majority of us don't have, like, say 3 or 4 jumpers hanging around. That means that if you're in school or you're on the bus or whatever it is and you pick up coronavirus on your jumper, then you bring that home into your house and then you wear it the next morning, once again dragging that into school. It's just not an overall nice vibe. Similar to how you should wash your mask every day, technically speaking we should be washing our uniforms every day, or whatever clothing that we wear we should be washing every day if we leave the house. Who washes their clothes every single day? It's not environmentally friendly, it's not friendly for your clothing, because your clothing will literally deteriorate and lose threads and stuff like that. How are we supposed to juggle, say, being in 6th year or being in 3rd year and finding the time to wash our uniform every single day after wearing it? It just doesn't make sense. It's a waste of money, because our jumpers will last about a month if we're washing it every single fucking day. So the only other solution to this, other than buying multiple jumpers, which can cost like €60 a piece, is not wearing uniforms so that we can interchange our clothes, or at least picking, say, a Tuesday and a Thursday as a non-uniform day, so that then we can use that day to wash and not have to wash it every single day. But it seems like the majority of schools, care more about the uniform than our health. And to those of you who are about to comment right now being like, oh, but like, I couldn't choose what to wear every morning, or, oh, there's gonna be fights about what people are wearing. Guys, it's a pandemic. Get over yourselves. Pick something out to wear. It doesn't have to be too snazzy. If you want it to be, pop off. If you don't, that's chill. There are more things to worry about than a superiority complex. Once we go to college, we're not going to have a uniform anyway. Once we go to work, a lot of the time we also won't have a set uniform. We're going to have to learn how to dress ourselves at some point, so why not choose now? Okay, so there's one last thing that I want to touch on before, getting to all of your replies on Instagram, because I'm definitely excited to share what you guys think as well as, reading your comments down below and responding to you guys down there. But do we really think that it's fair for all of the past 5th years or now 6th years to sit a normal leaving cert with the 3 or 4 months that we missed out? The government have released a huge booklet of changes that they made to our leaving cert, but from what I gather from it, they've taken away some shot pictures, they've given more options for poet questions on the English paper. Is there anything else? I really don't think so. As far as I'm concerned, there just hasn't been enough done. We are all incredibly anxious, not only about our health, but about all that we've missed out, and just the normal 6th year anxiety anyway. We still have the same exam format, the same exam duration. Obviously we can't predict the future. We might end up getting calculated grades, or we might end up having further changes made to the leaving cert. I'm certainly hoping so, but yeah, that's definitely a point that I wanted to bring up, because a lot of you guys were saying it and I definitely agree. But anyways, enough about me. Let's get into your comments and your responses. So the first question that I gave was, if it was up to you, would you go back to school or would you go online instead? Now this result was very half and half, and by that I mean 49 to 51. But it was definitely interesting to see that of the hundreds of responses that I got, half of the student population would choose to do online, but we still don't have any choice. So yeah, that's really comforting to know. The next thing that I did was just a little sliding moment where you could show on a scale of terrified to 100% safe, how safe do you feel going back to school? This was definitely in the, I'd say, 40% range. Once again, it's just a little bit concerning that the government haven't even provided any extra counselling services or anything like that to those of us who are terrified and anxious. The next one that I did was, do you think the government are doing everything that they can to keep us safe? Now this was absolutely insane to see that only 16% said yes, I trust them, and 84% said they need to do more. I did do some other questions where you guys could actually submit what you think should be done, but just to see that 84% of people don't trust the government right now, need I say more? The next question was, do you think reopening schools will cause a lockdown or big rise in cases? 91% of people said yes. Oh, I'm so triggered right now. That's 91% of people, so I mean, yes, there are people who are going to be over-exaggerating and over-dramatic, but I certainly don't think that 91% of us are going to be wrong. Okay, so we're just about at the halfway point here. I said, is there anything you would change about schools reopening, such as reduced numbers, staggered class or lunch times, and non-uniform days during the week, as I said, to allow for sanitization? Now, there were a lot of responses, so I'm obviously not going to read out every single one of them, but I will read out some of the ones that I thought were most interesting. A lot of people were saying non-uniform days, to give regular breaks outside. There should be an online option, particularly for those who are high risk. And then just a lot of people saying that they're anxious, that they don't want to open at all. So the next poll that I did was, should further changes be made to the 2021 Leaving Cert? So obviously that is next year's Leaving Cert or this current group of 6th years, and 91% of people said yes. If yes, what further changes should be made? We can't just say yes, we want changes, but then not give them any ideas as to what we want changed. So once again, I gave some examples such as predicted grades, continuous assessment, removal of oral exams, or change exam dates and or exam duration. The overall consensus here was people wanted predicted grades, they wanted to remove the orals, which is fair enough. Removing the orals is basically a given at this point. I don't know how we're supposed to sit in a room with an examiner and how are we supposed to practice with our teachers. And we've also missed out on so much prep work for the orals that I really don't see how they're going to do it. Do you trust that other students in your school will follow all of the guidelines? This was by far the one that made me the most upset, but I certainly was not shocked by this result. 94% of people said nope, it'll be carnage. AKA, only 6% of people said that they trusted their peers. Are we fucking surprised? No, we're not. I definitely do not trust the 90 people that are in my year to stay 100% safe and, you know, protect my life, because that's the thing. We're all sharing the same building, we're sharing the same rooms, and as much as we try, it's not going to be fail safe. So the only way to fully be, you know, safe is to trust that people aren't going to be going to house parties every night. People are going to be social distancing while outside of school and also following the guidelines while inside of school. The second last one was, are you confident in our transport systems getting to and from school? The options were, I'd say we'll be fine, and not enough buses or not enough space. 83% of people said that they didn't think we had enough buses or space, and to those 83% I would say you're probably fucking right. Then the very last one that I put up was, do you feel safe that you can social distance within a classroom? And 71% of people said no. Okay, so this video is possibly an hour fucking long, so I'm going to end it here. Please sound off below. I want to hear what you guys think about this. Feel free to send this video or send any of my TikToks to, you know, Simon Harris, to Michal Martin, to Leo Varager, whoever you feel like, whoever you think, you know, let's get their attention. I'm not saying that this is going to make any difference, but even if it changes a few of your mindsets and to make you really take this whole going back to school thing more seriously, then my job is done. I'm really just trying to look out for the best interest of all of the students in Ireland and also just the people in general. I do, of course, have a lot of content regarding this topic on my TikTok, so make sure to go check that out, and also follow me on Instagram, like I said. Subscribe down below. Let's get me to 1,000 subscribers. I'm definitely gonna have some kind of subscriber special once I get to 1,000, so please, you know, drop a follow, drop a subscribe, whatever it is. And yeah, thank you for joining me on this emotional journey. Comment down below, I'll be responding to all your comments, and let's just hope that the government do something to change all this, because it's certainly not ideal. But yeah, bye guys, see you soon.